Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by to watch another episode here at All I See Is W. Well, today I wanted to give you an update on Sky Bioscience, a biotechnology company that is based out in San Diego, California. I'll share with you my insights on why I have belief that this company is ready to catapult in the near and long term and where the company is headed in terms of its share price. Now, before I begin, I first off wanted to share with you a really great book that's actually written by the CEO of Sky Bioscience, and I'll share with you the book here. It's actually called Catapult: How to Think Like a Corporate Athlete to Strengthen Your Resilience. Puneet Dillon. So I've been reading the first few pages and I'm so excited because the information that's in here is just so value added. It's really just Puneet Dillon sharing his experience on how you can develop, build on your personal mastery, and how you can really think like a corporate athlete to strengthen your resilience through adversity. And I'm finding it very interesting so far, and I'm looking forward to read more. But just wanted to first off share with you the content here, and you can also support the author, and I'll leave the link down below in the channel in case you're interested. You can actually purchase it on Amazon, and the links down below as well. And you can also use like Kindle if you're interested in an ebook instead of having an actual physical book. Now, before I begin, just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you who have been supporting my channel. And let's say if you're new to this channel, please stay tuned because I'm going to share with you some really valuable information on this biotechnology company that's really changing how we look at healthcare. It's really a paradigm shift in how natural medicine is being leveraged as a way to combat serious medical unmet needs such as glaucoma, a disease that's irreversible when it comes to blindness in the eye. Now, Sky Bioscience, let's go and let's talk about Skye here. This is a company that is working on a potential prodrug that's bioengineered using THC with the addition of valine hemi and succinate, where it's added to a patient's eye and that will reduce intraocular pressure. What we see here is a year to date range, so about a 6 month range. As you can see, the share price has been moving up in the right direction from a long term perspective. In fact, about a month ago, the share price had catapulted all the way up to 25 cents, and it's been on a downward trend. However, it's establishing ground at the 16, 17 cents, so that's looking good. And the next bull leg up, I'm anticipating to be happening very soon, at least at a minimum in Q3 of this year. There's major milestones that's going to be coming for Sky Bioscience, and they are working on trying to initiate human clinical trials in Australia on about 62 patients. Now, from a share price standpoint, I have high belief that towards the end of the year, the share price is going to, at a minimum, get to 80 cents to $1 and beyond that. The sky is limitless, and with natural medicine right now being looked at, we see the potential of unlocking medical unmet needs using cannabinoid science. Now, let me go ahead and share with you the corporate presentation. First off, I just wanted to share with you that this isn't the content that I'm producing, it's actually from Sky Bioscience. And one of its main key focal point, its mission statement, is to unlock the pharmaceutical potential of cannabinoids. This is Sky Bioscience's logo here, where sky is limitless. This is the company's corporate presentation of 2021, and we know that Skye is actually on the OTC market. Okay, now as an overview for this company, it's a biopharmaceutical company that's developing differentiated synthetic proprietary cannabinoid derivatives to treat diseases with significant medical unmet needs. Now, it's bioengineered synthetic cannabinoid derivative designed to significantly enhance therapeutic benefits. What's so unique is that this company is patented, right? I mean, with the typical THC molecule, you can't patent that because that's an innate molecule that no one can really claim that that's their own Now, the fact that this company has bioengineered and modified the molecule, it's able to patent that technology and really preserve and gain value from that in the long run. That's why it has broad patent protection, including composition of matter. Now, we know that there's a big commercial opportunity where it's really tapping into like over a 6.6 billion market opportunity for a lead indication glaucoma. And that doesn't just end there, because it does have multiple products such as the CBD VHS, where it can tap into different indications for use specifically in ocular disease. Now, Sky Bioscience, led by Puneet Dillon, he's working with an experienced team that he's assembled, and they have a track record of rapidly advancing preclinical candidates through to human trials and securing strategic pharma partnerships. Puneet Dillon came from Inovio Pharmaceuticals as the VP of Operations and Finance, where he built the company up through multiple acquisitions. In fact, he co-founded Oncosec, a skin cancer-based company, and really got that company up and running. In fact, the company was upgraded to the NASDAQ market as well, and that's dealing with cancer-based drug therapies. And to be able to see how the company has matured from where when it first started, that just shows that there's no doubt that Puneet Dillon is unable to execute, because now that you're working with the natural medicine, you're really just going to be applying the same approach. And I have high belief that this company is headed in the right direction. In terms of milestones, there's key preclinical data expected in first half of the year, which we've seen, where the company has demonstrated that its THC VHS works significantly well in combination with Ropressa. Now, as a single study, it has demonstrated that the drug product works even better than latanoprost. So that's huge news. And as you can see here, with first human data in the first half of 2022, that's coming very shortly, as the company plans on initiating human trials in weeks to come. Now, we know that glaucoma is the leading cause of irreversible blindness, right? This is a disease that leads to progressive damage to the backside of your eye, where you have retinal ganglion cells, which make up the optic nerve. And that's part of your central nervous system. And over time, you can lead to irreversible blindness. Over on the right, this is basically a state of advanced glaucoma, and you really don't want to see that in patients. And people are willing to get the right treatment to prevent this from happening. Now, we know that with this type of disease, with glaucoma, it's currently in 78 million market in terms of patients being impacted, and it's only going to grow at a scale that's exponential. By 2040, we predict that there's going to be 100 million glaucoma patients impacted. And how does glaucoma cause blindness, right? So we know that glaucoma, the leading cause for glaucoma is increase in intraocular pressure. So in a normal eye, you want to have adequate flow and drainage throughout your eye, where the pressure is at an equilibrium state. Now, let's say if you have a drainage canal that becomes blocked, where there's some type of occlusion taking place, then that will ultimately lead to increased pressure. And as a result, the increase in pressure will lead to the resultant damage to the optic nerve, and that will cause vision loss to your optic nerve, which is the posterior end of the eye. So that's something that we don't want happening, where this causes hypertension in the eye of a normal patient. Now, current therapies leave notable unmet needs, right? And we know that with the legacy drug products that have been approved for many years now, we've seen latanoprost reducing IOP, we've seen timolol, urtatosol, and a number of different drug products. However, patients become widely dependent on these drugs, and they would require more than two drugs, and this can ultimately lead to side effects and reduce compliance. And in fact, many patients become non-responders and have a poor response and can really develop a tolerance to this type of legacy approach. And that's why Sky Bioscience, this is an innovative drug that can really add value and presents an opportunity and need for new classes of therapy where you're using natural medicines to reduce intraocular pressure on a long duration scale. So that's very exciting news. Now, we know that in the human eye, there's cannabinoid receptors all throughout your eye. In fact, it's the most concentrated in the eye compared to receptors all throughout your body, right? That's the $1 million question. We don't know why we have innate receptors for THC, but that's the key lock mechanism that's part of our body. So why not have the ligand in place, which is the THC molecule? So that's basically one important aspect as to why leveraging natural medicine can add value, because we have the right receptors that can bind with Sky Bioscience's prodrug. So that's the benefit of having this type of product. Now, we know that the first report that smoking cannabis lowers IOP, and that's appeared in studies since the 1970s. And multiple human studies have validated THC's ability to lower IOP, so that's essentially a good thing. We're looking at data here where there's been a number of different experiments that demonstrated smoking cannabis has reduced IOP, so it's all known data where we've seen many studies demonstrating THC's ability to lower IOP. Now, the challenges to THC as an effective treatment of glaucoma is the fact that it requires high dose to achieve the therapeutic effect in the eye. There's difference in pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. There's poor oral bioavailability when you ingest it, right? And the limited duration of effect when inhaled is like less than 90 minutes. So your IOP level can start increasing after about 90 minutes. There's also systemic side effects where, let's say, a glaucoma patient inhaling THC will have psychoactive effects high from the THC, and that can be detrimental, drops in the blood pressure. Now, we know that THC is lipophilic, it likes fats, so the challenge is to deliver it into the eye because water and oil don't mix well. Now, with Skye's innovative product, I mean, they are unlocking therapeutic value of THC, right? I mean, they've bioengineered this drug molecule with the addition of valine and hemisuccinate, which enhances the aqueous solubility and polarity characteristics, enabling the improved local delivery into the eye and avoiding systemic effects where you'll get THC in the bloodstream or in the brain, right? It just goes directly to the eye. Once the application is added to a patient's eye, it will travel through the eye, bind with the receptors in the front of the eye as well as in the back of the eye, and provide the necessary treatment to lower IOP and potentially providing neuroprotective effects. Now, once it's inside the eye, the THC VHS is converted back into THC by enzymes that cleave VHS arm of the molecule, where the THC just does and works its magic. Now, THC VHS, like what I mentioned earlier, it's a proprietary molecule with composition of matter patents providing intellectual property protection that is instrumental value creation. By working with an all-star team full of scientists and ophthalmologists and having the data to support it with assistance with University of Mississippi, where they have about 50 years of research and development data, where the DEA has federally legally licensed University of Mississippi to research cannabis out of all entities in the United States. So that's why it's so unique. being able to work with University of Mississippi. Now, one of the interesting things is here we're looking at a graph which shows the comparison of THC VHS, which is the brown curve, in comparison with latanoprost and timolol. These are legacy drug products that are being used right now. The lower the line, the better, right? And this represents time on this axis. As you can see with the brown, I mean, it's gone down to the point where it's at the lowest at 240 minutes. However, at 480 minutes, THC VHS has demonstrated to deliver lower IOP compared to these drug products. So that just shows that there's superior duration of response in this rabbit model study, and that it shows superior decline in IOP versus latanoprost and timolol. And based on the recent data that was released, THC VHS being used in combination with nirtadosol shows really good data, as well as going against latanoprost. That just further validates that it lowers IOP better than latanoprost. So that's very beneficial for this company here. I don't want to spend so much time on this slide here. However, with the THC VHS drug product, it's demonstrated anti-inflammatory and anti-fibrotic responses. So that just provides indication that the drug product can provide protection to the eye, which is a very good thing, and potentially you're tapping into a new class of treatment with therapeutic attributes distinct from existing IOP lowering drugs. Now, one of the interesting things is that not all glaucoma patients have elevated IOP, right? I mean, it's not clear what causes neurodegeneration of the optic nerve. However, about 1/3 of glaucoma patients have normal IOP, and there's a significant unmet need and tremendous market opportunity for a neuroprotective drug. So similar to latanoprost and nirtadosol, these legacy drug products do not have an intended use claim for neuroprotection. And with Sky Bioscience's drug product, we know that cannabinoids demonstrate neuroprotection based on just multiple studies that's done on animal species. And glaucoma have demonstrated the ability of cannabinoids to promote health and survival of optic nerve cells. And optic nerve injury model in rats planned in Q2 21 to validate neuroprotection properties of THC VHS. So we may hear that data to come shortly in either this quarter or Q3. That's coming up very soon. So this is looking very promising, where once this data is able to show that there's a significant prevention to having damage, where it demonstrates neuroprotective effects, then this is really going to be a game changer for the company, and the catapult can happen very soon. Now, the biggest milestone that's coming up is the phase 1 human clinical trials that will be coming very soon, and it's really to assess safety, tolerability, pharmacokinetics of single and multiple ascending doses in healthy subjects and subjects with elevated IOP. So you'll be providing higher concentration doses in healthy patients to evaluate safety and tolerability. In addition, the company will be assessing various patients with hypertension to see whether the drug product can lower IOP levels in patients with hypertension. So the subject group will be N equals 64 in a double-blinded test. There will be placebos as well as the THC VHS drug product being used. Now, in terms of value creation, we know that the company has a very good liquidity ratio, right? I mean, it's quick assets to liabilities is over like 4. So that just shows that the company has the finances to supply the cash flow to deal with the expenses for phase 1, phase 2 clinical trials. However, we know that the first human trials will be fast. It's relatively inexpensive, low cost, and it also includes assessment of intraocular pressure, which is a very good thing. We know that the company has initiated preclinical studies for CBD VHS, preclinical combination study of THC VHS with nitazoxanide and latanoprost that has shown to be superior data. The company has announced its completion of chemistry manufacturing controls and GLP manufacturing of THC VHS. They've completed genotoxicity study for THC VHS, and we're expecting to get neuroprotection data with optic nerve crush model. Now, in the second half of this year that's coming up in weeks to come, right, there will be completion of GMP manufacturing of THC VHS, complete GLP tox of the THC VHS, approval from Australian Ethics Board, submission to TGA, which is the health authority in Australia, similar to FDA in the United States. And the biggest highlight is initiating phase 1 study of THC VHS, as well as establishing clinical development plan of CBD VHS. And we will all be interested in 2022, the first half, to see the data from the phase 1 clinical trials and activities with FDA on pre-IND meetings, and as well as sending an investigation of new drug submission to the FDA for its drug product. Now, in terms of capitalization, we know that the company has at around 372 common shares that's outstanding. It's based out in San Diego, and the company is continually growing from how I see it. And this is basically the team that we see here with Puneet Dillon, Richard Tudip, Karam, Tom Kim. And the board of directors, as you can see, Robert Rich from Mount Sinai, Giovanni, who has like 40 years of experience in research in natural products. He's a professor of organic chemistry in Europe. We have Jeffrey Goldberg, an ophthalmologist professor from Stanford. We have professor of immunology from Spain, Eduardo Munoz. We have Margaret. We have Luis Pascual. So there's just a wide array of different all-star team members on this board. In fact, they've also added an additional member who has experience from Harvard University as an ophthalmologist. So that's really going to help and add value in the long run to this all-star team. Now, its competitive advantage would be demonstrating greater IOP lowering than market-leading glaucoma therapeutics. It has the potential to unlock neuroprotective claims capabilities that would be a game changer. It will be having key preclinical data, IOP and neuroprotection in Q2 of 2021. And its first clinical trials is very low cost and will also include assessment of IOP. And we know that many glaucoma licensing deals have been completed in phase 2 or earlier, so that's looking very promising. So overall, that's basically the end of the slides here. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd be more than happy to answer. So just leave it down below, and I'd love to get back to you. And thank you so much for watching another episode here at All I See Is W. Please make sure to also subscribe to my channel if you're new, and hit the thumbs up if you found this content valuable. Thank you so much. Have a great day, y'all. Goodbye.